Are you tired of copy-pasting content into templates? Content Assembly, part of SharePoint Content AI, lets you generate ready-to-use documents fast and accurate. Welcome back, everyone, to the ultimate SharePoint Content AI series. I'm again joined by my good friend Gökhan Özçivci. Welcome back. This is the 11th episode, part of the series. For those of you that have watched everything, thank you so much. We're glad you're still here. For those of you that are new, well, welcome to the series. We hope you're going to enjoy this episode and all the other ones. Gökhan, what are we going to cover in this episode?
Yeah, so you did an amazing job. You already introduced the tool, and we're going to talk about content assembly, where we actually automatically will generate standard documents, statement of works, contracts by just uploading them to a SharePoint document library, adding some fields, and then saving them as a modern template. So that's what we're going to see today. Are you ready?
That sounds awesome. And I introduced it, but I have no idea how it works. That's why you're here.
There you go. So here is the requirements and limitations, and you can see on the image how that works. We basically have to upload the document to create a modern template. Then we will associate fields with different data sources. In the next slide, I'm going to explain you what kind of data sources we have. We can add conditional sections if needed, something that you can use and say like, okay, show me that section only if a certain value is met. We'll publish that, and then we create new documents within our document library. It only supports Word files, Doc and DocX.
Okay.
Nothing else.
No PDFs.
No PDFs.
Okay.
Yes. The document should not contain any comments.
Okay.
So if you have them, or track changes, like if you have those, like comment track changes, you should remove it from the document, upload them, and then create your modern template.
Okay.
Unfortunately. A few other things to know. The template and the document is associated to your document library. So it is not because you create your template that in another document library you can use it.
Okay.
You have to recreate that, unfortunately. Smart art and bulleted lists are currently not supported yet.
Okay.
And then I said, like the data sources, you can either write a piece of text or go for managed metadata or a SharePoint list item. Especially, you can also use the Power Automate connector to create those modern templates. So if you're like, I know you love Power Automate, so you can also go to Power Automate and, use that connector to grab information and create your document. So all that is possible. And that's already a lot of slides flat. So I would say, let's go for a demo.
I'm already surprised you had this many slides. So let's get started.
Fantastic. So here, as you can see, I have a standard out-of-the-box document library within SharePoint. And when my SharePoint Content AI is enabled, well, you will see that I have the Create Modern Templates just within my new button. When you click on it, well, here it will ask you to upload an invoice or a statement of work or a contract that it could use as a foundation to build the templates.
Okay, I just want to say something really quick. You said when content assembly is enabled. For those of you that are new to the series, we covered how to enable the SharePoint Content AI pay-as-you-go, as well as how to enable features like content assembly on certain sites. And you'll have a link to that video in the comments below. So if ever you need help on how to enable it, you have a dedicated video that covers all of that, because you need that set up to see what Gökhan is showing you.
There we go. Now, within the Word experience, I see my invoice, your typical invoice that I use in my demos those days. And here on the right side, I can create a field. Well, I could replace almost anything into my Word document. The first thing I'm going to replace is the invoice number, right?
Okay.
I can see it's like 0476. I'm going to give it a name, invoice number, and then I'm going to just confirm. And that's it.
So you need to have already content in there. It cannot be like blank. You need to have fake data in there, right?
It's better if there is fake data.
Okay, cool.
It's way better. Then you click on next, and here you get the three options. Either I can go for text and go for single line of text, a number, date and time, email, hyperlink. But what I always use is a single line of text to make it easy for my end users.
Yeah, and I mean, many companies have, they have the client name in the invoice, things like that. So it makes sense.
Then I can go for a SharePoint list. And finally, I can go for manage metadata and then select anything from my
Yeah.
term store.
For this one, I think a string makes the most sense.
There we go. So I'll go for the first one for the single line of text and then click on save. And that's it. Like I just select, give it a name, confirm, and then just say what is the
So you just keep adding them. So if you want to change wingtip toys, you just select that one line and you do it, and so on.
Absolutely. So if I want to change, let's say this, because this is the company name, I'll click on field. You'll see it selected. I'll say it's the customer name, just here, and then click on next. And here within my manage metadata, I have something called SharePoint Content AI. I have my customers, yours and myself. I can easily click on customers, click on save. And now you will see that there is a reference made to my metadata. And every time I create a document, I can choose values from my metadata.
Awesome. So that's amazing, because this way, like, you can choose from pre-created customers, for example.
There you go. There
Awesome.
you go. And finally, the last thing I want to show is probably for the VAT, right? I know Canadians, you guys are crazy, have those very long numbers like TPS, TVQ, too much. But if I want to just replace that, I just choose the number, give it the name again, and here I can go for a list. The bad thing with this is, Vlad, just tell me if you like this. This is the view on choosing columns.
I have no idea what I'm looking at.
There you go. And that's exactly what the end users are telling me, because you can see the columns. If you're very well known with SharePoint, or you are the one that builds that SharePoint list, well, you know exactly what's in your title or in modified and created, but a simple end user has no clue idea. And especially here, look, this is my list. Yeah. Title has those pre-filled values. It's easy, but what's going to happen is, if you have like tens of columns, hundreds of columns, well, you're lost. And if the PG is again listening, please do something.
Like show us the values as an example.
There you go. Here, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just select the title and then click on save and then on save. And that's
awesome.
Okay. You also have the conditional section where you can just say to your invoice, okay, this section is shown or hidden if a certain value is met. I can here say like, okay, customer outside of EU. And then I can say, you know what, this section I want to hide or show depending which value I'm actually showing or hiding. I click on next and you see show the selected content when. So I know I have two customers. I have Neoxy and vNext. If I choose Neoxy, I should have VAT. If I choose vNext, I should not have VAT, because two separate countries, right? So I'm going to choose Neoxy and say every time when I create a template and I choose for Neoxy, show VAT. If it's vNext, well, no,
it shouldn't show,
right? Makes sense.
So you really have the condition is show. You cannot choose show and hide. It's show, and then you play with the condition.
There you go.
Okay, awesome.
Let's say we're happy with that. I'm going to save and publish this. I'll give it the name, templates, and then save this.
Awesome.
Boom. Now, within a couple of seconds, my template will be saved and published within my document library, and then we can just create our new invoice. Here, I'll just refresh just to make things sure that they're working.
For good luck.
There we go.
It had created a temporary folder for a second while we're building it.
There you go. There you go. And now I have that template just here appearing into my new button.
Can you change the icon near the document or not really?
Not really. It's going to be remaining words.
I tried.
And then you see on the right side, I have the three fields, the invoice number. Let's go for 1998. And you will see here, when I go to the second field, it's becoming green and the invoice number has changed. I can go for manage metadata field and choose for Neoxy and click on apply.
Now we see it.
And now you see it. If I go for
anything else, it's like already
here, well, it's going to be empty.
Really cool.
It is. And then VAT, it's a list item. So I'll choose my list.
At least here we see it. And it's funny, it has the Microsoft list, not the SharePoint.
There we go. And if I choose for 15, well, you will see that now it is 15%.
Cool.
If I click on next, create that document and say, you know what, this is my invoice
It's not liking you today for typing.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Invoice 001. I'll click on create. And now within a couple of seconds, hopefully that document will be created, and it is created. And if I do a refresh,
No, already here.
it's already there. I have my 001 just here. And if I open it with all the correct invoices, 50%,
Cool.
the number and the value is hidden because there is conditional.
That is awesome. Can it create it as a PDF or it's a Word template? It will always create it as a Word.
Word.
Okay. I guess you could use Power Automate to then convert it to PDF automatically if you want to, from an extensibility point of view.
You are the automation guy, so I'm pretty sure you can do that.
Yeah, my head starts spinning like this. Those are all the things you can do.
Just before we end up that video, to make that link, because you're, again, way too fast, I had that page open for it. You have that content assembly within the pay-as-you-go services as part of your governance. Well, you can only do one thing, is either enable it into libraries or
Nothing.
in none. Yeah.
So it's all or nothing. You cannot enable it in only a few sites.
There we go. Which we could do with other services, but not with the
That's for this one. Okay.
So, did you like it, Vlad?
I love it. I think it's amazing, and I think it's a very easy way to get a lot of value out of templates. I wish we had that for so many years before, because people have been asking for this forever. There's even third-party companies that created similar stuff.
There we go. There we go.
Awesome. Well, Gökhan, thank you so much for deep diving into this. It's really, really amazing. For everybody else, thank you so much. And if you want to see the next video, part of the SharePoint Content AI series, you'll have the playlist and the next video appear on your screen right about now. So make sure you go check it out. And we really hope you enjoyed.